right, way to go you. If you're watching this, you're on the last part of this section of notes. Means you've done the basic trig problems, you've done the more advanced double variable problems, and now you're moving on to story problems. Excellent. So first things first, we got to get a little bit of vocab down. You've got a couple blanks to fill in. Let's take a look at some of the keywords there first of all. Angle of elevation and angle of depression are pretty important when we're talking about trig in word problems. Elevation, you've probably heard that word before. Think of like an elevator, or if you elevate something, you're raising it up. So angle of elevation is the angle formed by a horizontal line. Horizontal means left to right, by the way, like the horizon. And an observer's line of sight of an object above the horizontal line. Now that sounds super confusing. Really, it's not. So I think you have a little picture of a stick person, or maybe a better looking person than my drawing. And here's their kind of line of sight. When you look straight, that's your horizontal line of sight. Angle of elevation is from that line up. So let's say look at a bird in the sky or a plane or I don't know what else. The distance from this dashed line, this horizontal line, up to the angle, that's the angle of elevation. Depression, think of like if someone's depressed, they're really down, they're really upset. If there's a depression in the ground, it's some distance into the ground. So angle of depression is the angle formed between the horizontal line and the viewer's line of sight below. Put that in a different color now. Below. So same idea, this horizontal line, but maybe I'm looking at an ant on the ground, or looking at something from a higher point of view, like maybe at the top of a building. That would be the angle of depression. How many degrees does it take to go from the horizontal line of sight downward? All right, so two important vocab words to know. They're going to crop up a ton in the word problems we do. I'm going to go through this first word problem with you, and then I'll help you at least start the second one, but you guys are mostly going to do that one and the third one solo. So first of all, let's read through it, get some keywords in here, make sure we underline important stuff. You have a 17, not 70, 17-foot banister to install on a staircase. If you're not sure what a banister is, that's the handrail along the side of the staircase. The angle of elevation is 28 degrees, so those are definitely some important things I would need to know. Anytime you see angle of elevation or depression, you want to know that. That's pretty important. You want to know if you jump from the top of the stairs, which I would not suggest. You want to know what the vertical rise, h, of the staircase is, because your mama told you if you jump more than 10 feet, you would break your ankle. So we're going to find out if you happen to jump off from this height, would you break your ankle? Again, not necessarily something I would suggest, but might not be a bad idea to figure out if it's going to happen or not if you decide to do something quite so silly as this. So we're going to draw our little staircase in. Oops, that's really badly drawn staircase. There's one really crooked step in there. And the banister, again, is that little handrail that would go diagonally along the side. Again, sorry, my drawing is not the best. Okay, and I know it's not an obvious triangle, but there is really a triangle in there. Height creates the vertical edge of the triangle, and distance creates the lower edge of the triangle. And then we're just going to connect it down there to get a right triangle. All right, cool. So let's fill in what we know. We've got a 17-foot banister. Well, that's the big red line over here, over the stairs. That's 17 feet. We have an angle of elevation. So remember we talked about in the last slide, we have to have a horizontal line and then a distance going up to figure out angle of elevation. All right, well, I'm going to draw a line on the only place that I see horizontal. That's this guy right here. That's my horizontal line of view. Now, I realize that the viewer is not going to be having their eye right down there, but that's still an angle of depression. The ground can act as that horizontal line. So from there up is our 28 degrees. And if you want to redraw a triangle off to the side that doesn't have pictures in it like the staircase, you can do that and that's fine, if that makes it easier for you to see. Okay, but it's the same thing as the bigger picture. You want to know if you jump from the top of the stairs, what is the vertical rise h? That means that h is our variable that we're looking for. Vertical means up and down, so h has to go there. Okay, so eventually we're going to have to say, yes, you will break your ankle, or no, you will not break your ankle if you jump straight down those stairs. Okay, so let's calculate that out, see what we get. To solve it like any other problem, you got to do some labeling. Right angle is here, which means the banister is actually the hypotenuse of this triangle. We're basing it on this angle of elevation because that's the only angle we have. So that means that our vertical rise is actually the side that's opposite, and our adjacent is the distance, which we're really not going to use because there's nothing there. So if I only have the opposite side and the hypotenuse to work with, what trig function does that include? Remember your SOHCAHTOA. Opposite hypotenuse means we have to use sine. So sine of 28 degrees equals opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite is h this time, and hypotenuse is 17. That's the banister. Really, that's the hardest part, is figuring out where the heck these numbers go in the picture, because once you have that, you're back to the triangles that you were just solving 10 billion times. From there, you do your cross multiplying after you put it over 1, and it's really kind of back to normal. So we have h equals 17 times sine of 28 degrees. Remember to type in sine of 28 first, then multiply by 17. Go ahead and type that in. And if my number is right, you should get 7.98. And our unit is feet. All right, well, let's take a look at the problem. Your mama told you if you jump more than 10 feet, you will break your ankle. All right, well, apparently the banister at the very top is 7.98 feet above the ground. So will you break your ankle? No. 7.98 feet is apparently within the realm of being able to jump off the stairs. Again, don't know why you would want to be jumping off the stairs. Oops. All right, yes. No, you will not break your ankle. You will not break your ankle. Okay. All right. Okay, so hopefully not too intimidating of a first problem. I know we tend to freak out anytime we see word problems, but they're really not that scary. If you need to go back and listen, that's fine to figure out where all those numbers come into play. Feel free to do that or ask for help. So go ahead and go to the second problem. I'm just going to help you draw the picture so you get an idea of where the triangle is, but I'd like you to try and fill in the numbers on your own. So on this one, apparently we have some morbid problems in here. Not very exciting stuff. You have a cat stuck in a tree, and the tree's on fire. So I'm going to draw a picture of that. You are standing 24 feet away from the base of the tree. After all, you don't want to catch fire. And the angle of elevation is 65. And this is a really depressing problem. If your cat fell straight down, how many feet would it fall? Okay. Now, kind of a silly problem with this, just to make it, I don't know, just silly and random. But there are actually some good applications for this. A lot of people who are in rescue types of things look at this to figure out, what would be the safest distance to fall. Ladders actually have regulations based on trig problems. Because there's certain heights of ladders that are safe that they can use, and then there's certain heights where the weight kind of is too much to bear, or it may not be safe enough to use at a certain angle. So this stuff really does come into play. There are actually some good places where this is used. These are a little bit more silly word problems, just to get us started. So I'm going to draw my little cat in the tree, because why not? We have word problems, might as well have fun and draw. I have a fat looking cat, because it's really hard to draw with this pen. Don't make fun of the drawing. Here's the little cat. And his tail. He's smiling. And then we have some fire in the tree. It's okay, cats have 9 lives. They're good at this stuff. They're fine. This cat's gonna make it. So, I'm gonna just help you set up where the triangle would go. You're looking at the cat. You're far away from the tree. Here would be the height. Let's draw this into different colors. This is not making it easy to see. So here really is your triangle. Okay. So use that to kind of help you figure out where things should go. This person would be here. I just drew that really poorly. My bad. Let's just draw him over here. Okay. So see if you can place the numbers in yourself correctly. If you need help, raise your hand and ask. Or you can talk to people around you and see if you can calculate that out. Remember, you got to put 24 somewhere in the picture. 65 has to go in the picture. And then X is the number of feet you're falling, okay, which is the height. So think about where do those 3 things have to go. See if you can place it correctly from there.